Hey, if I can't trust you, then I really don't know who I can turn to.
ごめん店主園様。この同士は絶対に遅刻なんかしない主義なんだけど、事情が事情で一日も遅れちゃった。申し訳ない。
I'm sorry, Lady Tangquan. I promise I'm not usually late for appointments, let alone by a whole day. I hope you can understand.
フー同士、どうかお気になさらず。あなた一人で教会に行くことにうなずいたのは私の考慮不足だったわ。だからあなたたちが危ない目に遭ったのは私にも責任がある。
No apology necessary, Director Who. It was my mistake for letting you go to the border by yourself.
いやいや、そんなことないよ。ここまで状況が悪化してるなんて私も予想してなかったし。
Don't say that. Even I didn't think the situation would get this bad.
私も気になるわ。前と比べてどこまで深刻なのかしら。
I'd like to know, too. How dangerous is the situation we face, and how does it compare to previous cases?
すっごく、それはもうとんでもなくだよ。
Way worse. Like, way, way worse.
前にも同じようなことがあったの？聞いたことないけど。
Huh? So this isn't the first time? I've never heard this happening before.
教会っていうのは自然に生まれたものじゃなくて古い屋敷みたいなものなの。どうしてもガタが来たりもする。
Well, don't forget the border isn't part of the natural landscape. It's more like an old house that's gradually falling
だか
apart.
ら短い場合は数十年、長い場合は数百年おきに手入れが必要なんだ。で、その役目はもちろん私たち王城堂ってわけ。
So it requires maintenance every once in a while, sometimes every few centuries, sometimes every other decade or so. And of course, that is the responsibility of the Wangsheng Funeral
こ
Parlor.
れまでは四季が溢れ出すぐらいだったら秘術を使って焼き払えたけど、今回みたいなのは初めてだよ。教会の中がめちゃくちゃになってた。
In the past, though, the worst it got was a few small feather leaks. That's an easy fix with our secret art. It burns it all away, no problem. But this time is different. Inside the border, it's like the whole world has been turned upside
その
down.
原因は分かったのかしら。
Do you have any idea what the cause might be?
まだ。
Not so far, no. Maybe it's the abyss.
今のところアビスの痕跡は見つからなかったよ。
I doubt it. I haven't found any traces of abyssal
あなた
activity.
のことを思い出したんだろう。おいらも同じことを考えたぞ。でもちょっと違うような気も。
You're thinking about Natlin, right? It did feel kind of similar, but not exactly the
リ
same.
ーユへの生と死の境界ってナタのヤガミの国に似てたりするのかな。
Is Leeway's border anything like the Night Kingdom in
ナタの
Natlin?
災難については聞き及んでいるわ。私の知る限り八神の国は死者が赴く地でしょ。それに対し教会は生と死を隔てる関所のようなものなの。
Yes, I've heard a little about the crisis there, but as far as I understand, Night Kingdom is the true realm of the dead, while the border is more of a boundary world between life
そ
and
の
death.
通り。関所のこっち側が生で、あっち側が死。もしも関所が崩れちゃったら、数千年前のように有名と現世が逆転して生と死が混ざる恐ろしいことがまた起こるかもしれない。
Yep, it's a demarcation line. Life on side, death on the other. So if the border fails, souls will pour out, and the whole thing becomes a chaotic mix of life and death, just like what happened all those millennium ago.
通りで急に老けたり寿命が縮んだりする問題が起きてるわけだ。
No wonder people have been aging faster than normal.
死が生の世界を犯した現れだろうね。
It's a symptom of death encroaching on the world of the
じ
living.
ゃあこれからどうすればいいの？
Then what should we do now?
式を焼き払うだけじゃ間に合わない。問題解決の鍵は教会そのものにあると思う。天チェン様、前に頼んだ八文七文の陣の位置について目処はついた？
Burning away the fetter won't do any good because the issue is the border itself. Lady Tangchuan, any progress on the 7 and 8 gates method I mentioned last time?
すでに4つの門の場所は明らかになったわ。残り
Yes,
4つもそうかからな
we've
いでしょ。
deduced the locations of 4 of the gates, and we should be able to pinpoint the rest of the array before long.
さすが天チェン様、仕事が早いね。
Whoa, already? Tangchuan doesn't mess
運
around.
が良かったのよ。リーユエの血が助けてくれたんだと思うわ。
Several strokes of luck were involved. Our nation is blessed with good
ちょっ
fortune.
と待った。今の話ってまさか発揮連トートの陣のことか？
Wait a second, the gates method you mentioned, are you talking about the one from the sanctification of
そうだ
Taudo?
よ。あなたたち
That's
も
the one.
教会のありさまを見たでしょ？作り直す以外、他に方法は思いつかないから。
You've seen the state of the border. I can't think of any other way to fix it besides a complete do-over.
教会を作り直す？
Do-over? You mean make a whole brand new border?
なあ、教会そのものを
No,
一から
no,
作
not
るん
the
じゃなく
whole
て、
border.
問題がある部分
Just
だ
the
けを
part that's
作り
been
直す
giving
の。
us grief.
同じよう
Which
に
is
聞
just
こえ
as
る
well
けど、こ
constructing
の
the
方
whole...
がずっと難易度は低いんだ。
Which is just as well. Reconstructing the whole thing would be much more difficult. What is this 7 and 8 gates method?
八門っていうのはリーユへの地脈にある8つの重要な結節点。生、死、休、と、海、慶、教、小のことだよ。地脈の力を導く力が秘められてるの。
The 8 gates refer to the 8 key nodes in leeway ley lines: life, death, repose, concealment, initiation, terrain, fright, and injury. They can be used to direct the ley line's energy.
じゃあ七問は何なんだ？
And the 7?
法人を発動するための条件だね。八門の中から邪気を払うための門を一つ選んで、地脈の力を借りて身を消せば邪気の退路を塞げるの。
That's a requirement for activating the array. The array master will select one gate from the 8 to subdue evil, cutting off its exit path by using the ley line's power to obfuscate themselves.
身を消す？
What do you mean
邪
obfuscate?
気と一緒に地脈に消
As
える
in
ってこと？
disappear from the ley lines
つまり
completely,
この世か
never to
ら
be
姿
seen
を
again,
消すって意味。
taking the banished evil along with them.
それって邪気と一緒に死ぬってことだろ？そんな陣が必要なのかよ。
So, someone has to die for this to work? But you can't seriously be
まあ
considering
まあ
this.
大丈夫だよ。名長がそのせいで犠牲になったって伝説があるから心配なんでしょ？
Now, don't worry. That's a traditional interpretation. But people just assumed that because the lone butterfly sacrificed herself.
でもあれは魔人を錬化した時の話。今回のも深刻っちゃ深刻だけ
But let's
ど、
not
そこ
forget,
までじゃないよ。教会が完
they
全に壊さ
were
れたわけじゃないから。
purifying a whole god. As bad as things are now, it's still a far cry from what they had to deal with. Besides, the border isn't completely ruined, so we're only fixing one part of it.
私が思うに、陣を発動する者が士気に耐えられさえすれば、命を落とすことはない。
If you ask me, as long as the array master can withstand a huge blast of fetter, they'll be just
フー
fine.
同士がそう判断した根拠はあるのかしら。
Oh? Do you have any proof to back up this statement, Director
根拠
Who?
ね。ここにいる人の中で、生死とか有名に一番詳しいから。
My proof is that I know the most about life and death out of everyone here. Unless anyone wants to dispute that. Nah, I trust you.
異議なしってことでいいよね。じゃあ、天チュエン様が残り4つの門の位置を特定したら、次の行動を決めよう。
No one? Okay, good. Looks like we're all in agreement. In that case, we can plan our next steps as soon as the Tank Tuan has found the remaining
フー
4
同
gates.
士。
Director Who?
天チュエン様は反対？
Something to add, Lady Tank Tuan?
別のことで聞きたいことがあるの。でも答えたくなかったら聞かなかったことにしてちょうだい。
No, there is something else I'd like to ask about, but it might not be my place to do so. If you do not wish to answer, then please pretend I never said anything. Sure. What is it?
十数年前に起きた無謀の丘の災いが今回の教会の危機と関係しているかどうか。
Do you believe that today's border
フード氏の
crisis
考えを聞かせてほしいの。
could have anything to do with the Wulong Hill disaster from over a decade ago?
十数年前、無謀の丘？
There was a disaster at Wulong Hill? What happened?
確か自然災害だったよね。当時あそこには村があったけど、土砂崩れかなんかのせいで死者が出て、生き残った人も引っ越したって。
Some sort of natural disaster, wasn't it? There used to be a village there, but then there was a flood or something. Took a lot of lives and all the survivors moved away.
でも無謀の丘が日差しの届かないすさんだ場所になってしまったことの答えにはならないよ
But that
ね。
doesn't explain how Wulong Hill became the dark and gloomy place it is today. Maybe there was more to it?
天チェン様、その件とは関係ないよ。
No, Lady Tanked One. I don't think these two events are
分かった
related.
わ。なら私も安心よ。皆さん、2日後にまたここで会いましょう。
Excellent. Well,
そ
that
の頃
puts
に
my
は
mind at
8
ease.
問すべての位置が分かっていますよ。
Everyone, let's meet here again in 2 days. We should know the locations of all the
それじ
gates
ゃ
by then.
私はいろいろ準備があるから先に王城堂に帰るね。
Alright, well, I've still got a lot of preparations to make, so I'll be heading back to the funeral parlor now.
他に話がないなら
Sounds
私
good.
もこれで。
If we're all done here, I'd better get going
ラン
too.
ヤ、お前フータを探してただろ？もしかして教会について知ってたのか？
Wait, Lenyan, Paimon meant to ask, how did you know where to find HuTao? Did you already know something was wrong with the border?
ごめんごめん、もっと早く伝えておけばよかったね。後で冒険者協会の前でまた会わない？先に
Oh,
家族に無事を知らせ
that.
ておきたいの。
Yeah, I definitely owe you an explanation.
ちょっと聞きたいことがあるから
Why
手紙
don't
を
you
送りた
meet
くて。
me at the Adventurers Guild later? I just need to write a letter to my family first. I want to let them know I'm fine. And I also have some questions I want to ask them.
じゃあ、
Alright
後で
then.
冒険者協会でな。
We'll see you at the Adventurers Guild.
アクセル全開。
What? I'm on the other side.
手紙を出したところだったんだ。
I was on the other side. What the fuck? Traveler Paimon over here. Perfect timing. I literally just posted my
さて
letter.
は私がすごい砲術を使って教会の危機を予知できると思ってる
Anyway,
でしょ。
back to your question. Let me guess. You're probably thinking I predicted the border crisis with some kind of mysterious magic.
新玉
Oh
の谷の
yeah.
ラン家は鬼門砲術が得意な家系
Aren't
で
the lands
と
of
にかく
Tenyu
す
Vale
ごい
all
って聞いた
experts?
ぞ。
A Chimen divination or something?
誤解だよ。確かにラン家には鬼門砲術が受け継がれてるし、家系図に書かれたご先祖様の中にはあの万象風格霊感もいる。
No, that's simply not true. Yes, the Chi-Man arts have been practiced in my clan for many generations. And yes, Wind Reader is listed as one of our ancestors in the
で
genealogy.
もとっくの昔に本家から分離してるんだよ。受け継いできた鬼門砲術もおじいちゃんの代にはほぼ手品みたいになってるし。
But my family are only distant relatives. We branched off from the main family line long ago. But by my grandpa's generation, the only Chi-Man we knew was a few parlor
お
tricks.
じいちゃんは色譜で占いをなりわいとしてるんだよ。私が手芸品で稼ぐよりも収入は少ないんだけどね。
Put it like this, my grandpa makes a living telling stories in Yilong Wharf, but I'm making more than him just selling my handmade arts and crafts.
じゃあなんでフータを探してたの？
So why exactly did you come to look for HuTao?
実はこの前おじいちゃんの占いにちょっと問題があったんだ。恋愛と仕事の占いは問題ないんだけど、寿命の占いをすると相手が誰であろうと早死にするって結果が出るわけ。おじいちゃんももうびっくり。
Because Grandpa's readings have gone sideways recently. The romance and career fortunes are doing okay, but when it comes to longevity, everyone's reading is suddenly saying they only have a few years left to live. It gave Grandpa quite a
それ
fright.
でお客さんから文句を言われる前にいっそ一旦店を閉めちゃおうってなったの。で、家でひたすら占ってたんだけど、いくら占っても
Fearing
王道の3
backlash
文字しか出ないんだって。
from his
何を
clients,
意味してるのかはさっぱりなんだけど。
he closed shop and shut himself away at home, trying to divine an answer to the strange readings. But after days and nights of divination, the only clue he got was Wangsheng
ちょ
Funeral
うどそ
Parlor.
の時、総務士から有楽会の準備に誘われたんだ。それでついでに王城堂に行って風道氏に聞いてみようと思ったの。
Right around that time, I happened to receive an invitation from the Ministry of Civil Affairs to organize a street fair. So I figured I might as well drop by the funeral parlor to see what Director Who might know about all
な
this.
るほど。じゃあお前のおじいちゃんの占いは当たってたってことだな。危機が起きることも王城堂が解決方法を握ってるってことも。
Oh, wait, so your grandpa's divinations are correct all along, weren't they? The longevity reasons were affected by the border crisis, and Wangsheng Funeral Parlor was the answer because they can fix it.
思い返せばそうかもね。すべての聖者が死の脅威にさらされてる。
It's certainly looking that way.
この現状を知ってるの
Apparently
は私たちだけ。
Every soul in Leeway is now living under the creeping shadow of death. But so far, we are the only ones who know. I have another question. What's the deal with this Rattan figure?
え、これウグイスさんの店に置いたはずなんだけどな。実はね、これこそが正当な鬼門砲術なの。人形には高魔印が刻まれてて、厄除けの効果があるんだ。
Wait, that's the one I left at Miss Yinger's shop. It's actually a product of genuine Keyman arts. It's engraved with an exorcism sigil to absorb the inauspicious energy in the owner's place, so they won't come to harm.
でも、君たちの手に渡るなんてね。これも何かの縁だし、よかったらもらっといて。
I had no idea you'd been holding on to it all this time. I guess it was meant to be. You're more than welcome to keep it if you like.
初めてリーユエ港に来た時、ある大きな屋敷の前を通りかかったら急に背筋が寒くなった気がしたの。それで陶人形を作ってあのお家の坊ちゃんに渡したんだよ。
When I first arrived in Leeway Harbor, I passed by a large house and felt a chill go down my spine. So I made a Rattan figure and gave it to the young master there.
ティマイオスのところでも同じ気配を感じたから陶人形を作って竣工用に置いたんだ。
Later on, I also sent something similar around to Mias. So I made another one and left it at the Center
その
Spring.
後、風道氏を追いかけて無謀の丘に行ったんだけど、風道氏の姿が急に消えちゃって、辺りをブラブラしてたら、洞窟の穴に挟まったナナちゃんに出会ったの。
Then I followed Director Who to Wulong Hill, only to find she disappeared without a trace. While I was searching the area, I found Miss Chi-Chi. She was stuck in some kind of crevice, and she seemed to be blocking something from coming
引っ張り
through.
出そうとしたら、二人して中に いたら薄暗くて寒気がする場所にいたんだ。君たちも知ってる教会ってところだね。
When I tried to pull her out, we both got pulled into the cold, dark place, which I soon discovered was the
教会
border.
の中をあてもなく歩いてたら風道主に会ったの。線香をあげて火の棒で四季を焼き払ってくれたよ。でも大量に漂う四季を焼き払うの
Shit,
は
I
とて
accidentally
も無理
pressed
で、
that.
それどころか私たちが落ちてきた入り口まで塞がって閉じ込められちゃったの。
But there was just
君
too
たちが
much.
来てくれて
There
本
was
当
no
に
way
助
she
か
could
った
hope to get
よ。
rid of it all. Worse still, the fetter blocked off the way we'd come in, trapping us inside. Thank goodness you came to our
そう
rescue.
だったのか。何にせよライアンの家ってすごいな。お前、
うん
教会の中で現実の法人まで敷いたんだろ。
What an ordeal. Still, your family sounds more impressive than you let on. Didn't you use some kind of illusion magic at the border?
原人も陶人形も本家のお姉さんに教えてもらったんだよ。お姉さんは小さい頃から鬼門の秘術を身につけてきたんだ。さっきの
Yes.
手紙にもいくつかお姉さんに聞きたいことを書いたよ。
Actually, that and the rattan figures are things I learned from one of my cousins in the main branch of my family. She's been practicing the Chiman arts since she was little. She's also the one I posed some questions to in my letter back home. Questions about the 7 and 8 gates
よく
method.
わかったね。そうだよ。八文七文の陣を使うために誰かの命を犠牲にしないといけないっていうのは本当かどうかお姉さんなら知ってると思って。
Wow, good guess. Yes, I want to know for sure whether sacrificing one of the participants is a necessary part of the method or not. I figured she might know.
でもフータオは本当じゃないって言ったんだろ。四季に耐えられるなら問題ないって。
But HuTao already told us that it won't come to that. She said we just need to make sure the person can withstand a strong blast of Fetor.
それが本当ならそれに越したことはないよ。でもやっぱりちょっと不安で、風道氏とは知り合ったばかりだけど、なんだか
Mm,
いろいろ一人で抱え込
I
んでる気が
certainly
して。
hope that's true, but I can't help but feel uneasy about it. I haven't known Director Who for long, but I get the sense that she prefers to keep the truth bottled up sometimes.
思ったことはそのまま言うし、賑やかな印象だけど、心の内はほとんど明かさないでしょ。まるで全部手配できてるみたいな態度で。
Sure, she talks a lot and isn't afraid to broach dark and uncomfortable topics, but she really hasn't said much in the way of her own private thoughts. It's like she's already got a plan and is keeping it to herself.
オイラたちに嘘をつ
You
いたの
mean
か？
you think she lied
全
to
く
us?
の嘘ってわけじゃないと思うけど、さっき天チェン様が十数年前の無謀の丘のことを言ってたのを覚えてる？
I wouldn't call it lying per se, but remember when Tang Chuan asked about the incident at Wuwang Hill from a decade ago?
今の危機と
Yeah,
は
HuTao
関係
said
ないっ
it
て
doesn't have anything to do with what's happening now. Are you saying they actually are related?
関係してるのか？
Do you know something about what happened back then,
私
Lanyan?
が知ってるのは洪水のことぐらいだけど、今の状況を鑑みると教会とも関係があったかもってね。そ
I
の線
just
で考え
heard
れば
that there was a
今の
flood,
無謀の丘の不可解な気候も説明がつくでしょ。
but given everything that's going on, I think it's likely had to do with the border as well. That would at least explain the strange weather going on at Wuwang
お
Hill.
姉さんから聞いたんだけど、当時王城堂は無謀の丘に祭壇を作ってたんだって。ただのお葬式だと思ってたけど、今考えるとあれも教会に関わる何かしらの法事だったのかも。
I remember my cousin saying that around that time the Wangshang funeral parlor set up an altar on top of the hill. I just assumed it was for a funeral, but now I can't help but wonder if it was some sort of ritual to try and fix the border.
法事を執り行ったのは王城堂同種の先代と先々代、つまり風道氏のおじい様とお父様だったらしいの。
Anyway, the ceremony was hosted jointly by two former directors of the Wangsheng funeral parley, namely HuTao's father and grandfather.
フータオのおじいちゃんとお父さん？そういえばお父さんのことってフータオから一度も聞いてないよな。本当に何かあったのか？
Oh, really? HuTao's never mentioned her dad to us before. How strange. So you think there's more to this story, huh?
どうだろうね。でも天智英様に聞かれた時でさえフードウ氏は何も言わなかったわけで、知り合ったばかりの私が聞いても無意味だろうな。
Yeah, but since she brushed it aside when the Tang Chuan asked her about it, I don't see how I can broach the topic. I've only known her for a few days.
直接聞くのか？
You think we should ask her about it? But she's never opened up to us about family stuff before.
教えてくれるか？
What if she shuts us down? Then that's her choice. All we can do is try. Then you can keep poking her till she tells us the truth.
なんでもそれは無理だろう。
Hey, that is a very... Paimon, you know you're going to want the truth.
行ってみようぜ。
Alright, let's go find her and take it from there. I guess it's time to go and poke HuTao! Oh wait. There's a bell, there's a coin, there's a coin! Coin! I wonder, does this actually have anything to do with this right now? Open! To the stars and that which lies on the distant horizon. Xianyun! She sent me a letter! Most esteemed traveler, that disciple of mine spent 2 whole nights outside gazing up at the moon, and all for the sake of writing a single gift envelope. When I urged her to drink some tea, she very nearly ended up drinking the ink before her instead. Honestly, in any case, since she has written hers, I too shall write one for you. Word of the tireless struggles and myriad hardships that fill your days has reached one's ears. Yet the lantern rite has come around once more, so set aside your worldly burdens for a moment and soothe your spirit with a few idle cups of tea. Should any dare to trouble you, come sit before the gate of one's mountain abode. Then we shall see who still has the audacity to disturb your repose. I am not well versed in the writings of gift envelopes, but Master told me that I need to offer the recipient my heartfelt blessing. As I was reading a book that Zhang Ling lent me a few days back, I came across a few lines that I liked very much, so I copied them down to offer to you. Winter wanes, and away drift the lanterns of spring's inceptions, the land beneath, bathed in a lush green hue. How does one part with such tender sentiments? Fine as silk threads, boundless as the ocean waves. I wish you a happy lantern rite. Oh my god, Shen, I fucking love you. That was very sweet. That was very precious. Ooh, there is still a lot to do. I see HuTao.